So I've talked about the matches and the results of what happened at WWE Summerslam 2013, but what does the results actually mean? When it comes to what's going to happen in the future for WWE. Well, firstly, Kane versus Bray Wyatt. This was the Inferno match, the Ring of Fire as they called it. Win by pinfall, not by setting the opponent on fire. Now this was a decent match. As I said, I've gone through a quick review on my previous video. What does this result mean? Well, obviously Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are certainly getting a big push from WWE. They're getting a lot of attention. They're getting a lot of airtime. I, for one, have to say I love the entrance of the Wyatt family. It's a great entrance. The characters were actually, or this type of kind of gimmick was actually thought of by WWE Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes. He came up with the idea for this. And certainly the Wyatt family are being pushed as a certain threat, at least mid-level, to WWE superstars. Now they took Kane out of the Staples Center after the victory by Bray Wyatt. Does this mean they're going to brainwash Kane into joining their cult? Is Kane going to be one of the Wyatt family? We have seen Kane go from monster to more humanized, to monster to more humanized. He really hasn't been. And I mean, when it comes to the presentation, he really hasn't been a really big, scary monster for several years now. Is this going to bring out the monster of Kane? I did put up a video a while ago thinking perhaps, Kane might lose at SummerSlam, and then maybe we won't see him until like the Royal Rumble, and then perhaps he might end up teaming up with The Undertaker to face the Wyatt family at WrestleMania. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. We're going to have to. I want to wait and see on Raw, see whether anything about Kane is mentioned, see whether the Wyatt family are actually supposed to be doing anything with Kane, as to like say brainwashing, etc. But who knows? Maybe the Wyatt family have recruited another member. A lot of people have said about they're missing that huge numbered stable. Perhaps adding Kane to the mix is what Bray Wyatt actually wants instead of his destruction. Cody Rhodes versus Damien Sandow. Now this was a good match. Obviously I said Cody Rhodes took the victory after the Crossroads. I have been, as I said on the results video, very impressed with the continued development of Cody Rhodes over the past few years. You remember, he was introduced almost as a kind of, pass the good vibrations around, you pass the good turnaround. Triple H brought in Randy Orton, and more on that later. Randy Orton brings in Cody Rhodes. A lot of people thought Ted DiBiase Jr. was going to be the breakout star from that legacy. Obviously Manu was let go by WWE, working independent shows I believe, around the world, but Cody Rhodes has really risen to be the guy that has come out of the legacy, apart from Randy Orton, who was already an very established star. But out of his young apprentices, Cody Rhodes has been the one to capture the attention of WWE. And of course, Dustin Rhodes was very much on Twitter last night, saying how proud he was, immediately after the match finished, how proud he was of his younger brother Cody's performance. Damien Sandow is another one. I wasn't too sure about Sandow when he debuted. I thought he was very much in, as he still is, but still in the very same genre as Randy Macho Man Savage's brother, who was the genius in WWE, very much like a Damien, actually looks like Damien Sandow as well. The intellectual superior of many people. It's a very good idea though. Damien Sandow has also been developing extremely well. Christian versus Alberto Del Rio. There's nothing much really I can add to that, what I said on the results. Followed these guys for many years. It showed exactly why these two guys are in the position they're in. Now, there's a lot of rumours and lots of speculation and things that Christian is not really liked hugely by the WWE officials, and when I'm talking like the higher up officials, when it comes to having putting titles on them and having them pushed as like world champion, etc. But Christian, he's never had, maybe perhaps because Christian has never really had the immense bodybuilder's body. He's always been very thin. In fact, I think he's even thinner now than he was when he came back, due to injuries, etc. Perhaps changing his workout regime or so, whatever. But both guys worked extremely hard. A really good match. Both of them, as I said, showed exactly why they're in the positions they're in WWE. Natalya versus Brie Bella, I think we were spared the most, spared the worst Divas match yesterday. They showed a bit on the pay-per-view highlights of a match at Access between the likes of Eva Marie and the Bellas and so forth. To be honest, didn't look very good. We only saw a few seconds of it, but it certainly didn't look very good at all. I think it was okay match. I think it was Natalya's first pay-per-view match since about, I think somebody said it was since Money in the Bank 2012. I'm not too sure exactly how accurate that is. It's certainly been a while since Natalya's been on a pay-per-view match, but it was a decent match. I really do hope that WWE bring up some decent, really good female wrestlers soon. The Bellas are okay, but and Natalya certainly very well. I'm not saying Natalya's exempt from this. She's a very good wrestler. I've seen a lot of her matches. She's a really good when it comes to technical wrestler. Obviously with her training she's had, but WWE I think needs a few more women. Such as like say UK wrestlers like Nikki Storm, Viper, Beth Noir, Fiona Fraser, etc. That that gets in there and wrestles. So it's hopefully they will do that. Now CM Punk versus Lesnar. I'm hoping that this will be setting up a match, possibly a rematch. Say maybe even as far away as WrestleMania. I wouldn't be disappointed if it was CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania next year, WrestleMania 30. These two, again, just as Christian and Alberto Del Rio, they proved their years of experience in this match. They proved that they know how to perform on the big stage. People seem to tend to forget that Brock Lesnar is a fully trained professional wrestler with many years of experience. He didn't just disappear from WWE and stop wrestling. No. He not only that he spent his whole entire childhood amateur wrestling, and as they said, in the schools competitions, and right up to the almost the amateur level in America. But after WWE, he went and wrestled in places like Japan, where he held the prestigious IWGP Championship. He still has the training. He still trains in wrestling. He was still doing last night the suplexes, a lot of the moves, the side slams, the knee breakers, the back breakers, and then even a couple of knee breakers and some professional wrestling moves. All that knowledge is still in Brock Lesnar. He didn't just switch completely 100% to UFC, to mixed martial arts. That's why Brock Lesnar is a dangerous individual. Whatever you think of him, he's a big guy. You genuinely wouldn't want to take him on in a fight. He's a dangerous guy. He's a big lump. Sometimes they can be dangerous when it comes to in-ring performances, but Lesnar is a very skilled, very established star who is an excellent performer. As is Punk is, they really did show their veteran status there. Also, the Ziggler Caitlyn versus AJ Lee Big E Langston. It was a short match, time filling more than anything. Ziggler and Big E Langston, they're good talents as well. Langston actually had a decent match on NXT this past week with Curtis Axel, another Paul Heyman guy. Big E Langston has really thrown himself around the ring It's weird because he's babyface good guy in NXT, but then he comes on WWE TV, main TV, and he's a bad guy, obviously backing up AJ Lee. But certainly, I hope that we'll get a couple more matches, singles matches between Langston and Ziggler. Also, Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. Now, obviously, the internet wrestling community, the whole wrestling community, to be honest, you call it the internet wrestling community, pretty much every wrestling, many wrestling fans are on the internet in some way. Social, all the different social media sites like Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, Twitter, whatever. You know, a lot of them, of course, are going mental, and actually, some people stupidly have been editing Triple H's Wikipedia page, which I would not recommend doing. Obviously, it'll just get changed, but it'll get locked if it hasn't been already by the Wikipedia people, and it'll be changed back. But certainly, it was a great match. If John, genuinely, I said it before in the preview, if Cena could actually work with someone like Daniel Bryan and literally get training with him, even work dark matches or house show, well, not dark matches as if, but house show matches, I mean, you know, the non-televised events, get Cena working with the likes of Daniel Bryan, even CM Punk, etc., and have those technical type matches that they had last night at SummerSlam. Cena could still improve as an in-ring performer. As I've said many times, I'm not a fan of John Cena when it comes to in-ring character. I've always respected him as a man, the amount of hard work he does. He does lots of appearances, charity stuff, etc., etc. But, you know, Cena is really a better performer than some people actually give him credit for. Daniel Bryan really took him to a great match last night as well. And then, of course, it's an amazing accomplishment for Daniel Bryan to be able to say Daniel Bryan, WWE Champion. That was tremendous, as I said in the result in that previous video. I was going mental. I was really happy that Daniel Bryan, who's been a previous World Heavyweight Champion, who's been through a lot of stuff, an over 10-year career, etc., made it and was WWE Champion. To be honest, I don't know exactly where they're going with the storyline. Of course, Triple H turned really on Daniel Bryan, gave him the pedigree which allowed Randy Orton to cash in the WWE Championship contract, and after the pedigree by Triple H, Randy Orton just covered Daniel Bryan to get the pinfall for the 1-2-3 to take the WWE Championship off of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan there's no doubt, looking over the internet, looking over the websites over the last week or so, leading up to this match, has been very much, as they say, very popular with wrestling fans. And as I said, no doubt, he is an over 10-year veteran, has had some great matches. In fact, a couple of days ago, I was watching his ROH box set, Best American Dragon. It's a really good box set. He's a really great performer. He's shown his different skills in the ring in both ROH, and I think there's still a lot of different sides to Daniel Bryan that we haven't even yet seen in WWE. A lot of different stuff he did in Ring of Honor, changing his character a few times during his tenure there. But Randy Orton, new WWE Champion. It's been a long time, I think, since Randy Orton has held that WWE Championship. A couple of years, I think. Obviously, he is very much a Triple H guy, as I said. Orton brought in Cody Rhodes in Legacy. Triple H brought in Orton in Evolution. Orton was literally handpicked from whatever the developmental system was at that time, OVW, whatever it was, I think it was, and Triple H handpicked him. Literally went down to OVW, handpicked Randy Orton, and took him to the heights Randy Orton is now. Randy Orton, WWE Champion. I really do hope they're building up to Daniel Bryan, perhaps versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan, of all people, deserves to have this big match at WrestleMania. I'm going to be a little bit quiet in a couple of weeks because I'm going to be busy at the start of September with a few things. But then hopefully when I come back I will have some really good stuff to put up on this YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to this Saturday, Scottish Wrestling Entertainment, Hell for Lycra 10.